What is up, everyone?
What's going on, y'all?
How you boys doing?
Wonderful. How you doing, fam?
Doing okay.
Doing well.
I'm trying to find this one image that I was looking for earlier.
What are we talking about tonight, Daimyo?
The realm of the Younger Dryas Impact theory. Should be a good one. I'm really interested by it. I think not enough people are aware of it.
Yeah.
If you watch Joe Rogan and whatnot, you clearly do. Let me say hi to Ronnie and Special Ray real quick.
Yep.
Appreciate y'all.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, y'all?
Where is this?
My two fans.
Tunnel.
What are you looking for, Roland?
I'm looking for him actually in the tunnel.
Oh.
Yeah, so if for the two people, Star Wars Dog's here too. What's up, buddy? If you're not familiar with the Younger Dryas Impact theory, it basically states that 12,000 years ago, roughly, give or take 1,000 or 2 years, there was a major collision with asteroids, essentially. And I think it comes from, is it the Taurus? Does that sound correct? The Taurus belt?
Yeah, I think so. There's also
Taurus?
I think so. I think it's Taurus.
Yeah, pull up the stream on something. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I should have done my homework on that. I don't have it.
I believe that there's also
Tarek. Thank you, Star Wars Dog.
Right.
See, this is why we needed him in here.
I know, dude.
He's probably laughing right now.
Definitely. Or he's like, fucking damn it.
He's like, I knew this shit. Very interesting theory, though.
Yeah.
Because, civilizations like Egypt are, the consensus is that, they're only about 6,000 years old, right? Or not even that, like 2 to 4, correct?
Something like that, yeah.
So this offers a different perspective, and there are numerous sites around the world that indicate there was a much more advanced civilization prior to Egypt.
Yep.
Göbekli Tepe is one of them. I've mentioned that before.
Yeah, Göbekli Tepe is crazy. We talked about that. I think,
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned that a little bit. I don't know if we showed any pictures of it.
But I'm going to do a whole episode on that.
Yeah, that's why we only mentioned it because we wanted to dive deeper into it.
So where to start with this? There's a good amount of evidence for it that they're starting to find in the Americas. If you guys haven't looked into Graham Hancock at all, highly suggest. Well, I'm just talking to chat.
Oh yeah, chat. Yeah.
Highly suggest you guys do.
Interesting.
It's interesting though because there are geological findings from Randall Carlson that indicate, that there were major water impact, major water damage in the stones and mountain ranges that only could. It had to have been from a tsunami if water's getting across the U.S., right?
Was it like a giant one?
And you can, it was
tons of giant ones.
Yes.
So
you can actually see it from space. You see the wash come across.
Yeah.
Kind of see where water would have came across, and then they filled up, froze at one point, way in the future became iceberg, and then filled up the Great Lakes. That's how they got there.
So, it was bigger than, your average tsunami then, in that sense.
Covered the whole, basically.
Well, and so Joe he had a guy on recently talking about, he's a gold miner, and he's up in Alaska, and he found on his land an area where they're pulling out mammoths, mammoth tusks, short-nosed bear bones, the American lion, dire wolves. It's pretty insane. It's from
That's
a bunch
awesome.
of it's from a bunch of animals that that shouldn't be up there, to be
Right.
honest.
And
And
it's too cold up there, or would have been. It's just not their area either. I mean, maybe a short-faced bear, but
yeah, and I'd have to.
dire wolf. But American lion, I doubt it.
Yeah, the dire wolf, is that what you said?
Dire wolf would probably be up there, but American lion, I don't know. Aren't they usually?
I don't know either. The American horse, I think he's finding American horses up there too.
That's cool. That's really cool, actually. I would love, dude. Imagine if you just started finding that stuff on your land. That'd be so cool.
For sure.
That's really interesting because, and people are trying to say that the Clovis people killed them all with spears and sticks and stones.
I believe they're actually trying to.
Yeah, I believe they are.
I mean, I don't think these people are trying to clone them. He actually won't sell any of the stuff he finds, and I think with cloning you have to have like body tissue that's preserved. I don't think you can just clone with decaying flesh.
Do you think you could clone with only DNA though? That's like another question.
What do you mean?
Like,
you can get DNA from the bones technically, or
so from my understanding, the way cloning works is you have to have a like living egg that you can put sperm into.
Oh,
Yes.
well, so like I'm saying, say
I
that
believe
like
that's how it works.
Maybe.
say that like someone got like Roland's blood and like they tried to clone it, they wouldn't be able to use his like DNA from his blood to make like another clone of him.
So apparently, it's actually very easy to clone animals that are alive today.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And even humans from that's disputed, but
How do we know that humans that we know aren't clones? Like,
Joe Biden's a clone.
he has to be.
He died about 20 years ago.
He's just an android with some skin on it.
But yeah, the Younger Dryas Impact area,
A poorly working android.
there's so much knowledge on it that like I can't even begin to comprehend all of it. And I
know,
probably should read a few books before doing a podcast on it. I doubt this will be the last podcast on the Younger Dryas.
No, I'm sure we'll talk about it.
I think this will be a regular one.
Especially with everything they are still discovering about it.
Yeah, but it's like
let's look into it because it was at first considered an obscure theory, and academia didn't want to admit that it could actually possibly be true.
So this theory has been like around for years now.
It's been around since I think 2007. I was just listening to.
I think so.
To
Something like that.
Randall Carlson. That's what he was saying. But yeah, right around then. Yeah, but it feels like every year we get new information that human civilization, advanced civilization, is getting pushed further and further back in time.
Yep.
Right?
It wouldn't shock me if there was like a super advanced civilization and then like some sort of an apocalypse happened and there was something that we just don't know about before history as we know it.
Well, there's a lot of evidence to prove that there was something like that happened.
Yeah.
But I think what he was saying more so is that we're straying farther and farther away from becoming an advanced civilization.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
No. What I was saying is that the timeline of when humans became a large civilized culture is getting pushed further and further back in time.
Oh, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I think it shows in Egypt. It shows in discoveries like Göbekli Tepe.
Yeah.
It shows here in the U.S.
There's
and
things
in the Americas in general. There's
things that they could do that we can't even do.
Right.
Like it's crazy.
So you said you had something, the Bone Cave, that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, the Cave of Bones.
What is that? What is that about? Give us a little information.
All right, so it was this. I forget. I think it's in Africa, and it was this very narrow, like, tunnel kind of with multiple chambers, and like one big drop in it and stuff, and then like this huge open area where they found all these bones of people that essentially would have been hobbits. They were short, but they would have needed fire to get down there, and they're dated like, oh shit, I want to say it's like 300,000 years or something like that. Like it's like a really, really, really long time.
Damn.
It's like or 30,000 years. I don't know. I want to say 300 or something, but I want to show you guys a diagram of this because it's pretty damn cool looking.
Are you gonna share your screen?
Yes, I am.
There we go.
Oh no, I lost it. So
You can't zoom in on that a bit.
I was trying to.
You have to press visit, I believe, right below.
Yeah, you're right. And it's sharing.
Or you can right click and open a new tab.
True.
That might be
Good idea. It probably will. Okay.
So they lived. Oh, that works too.
There we go.
I can already see what you're getting at. They basically built taverns.
Yeah.
below.
And
Who knows? They could have excavated it. Like those caves could have been there already naturally.
right.
Is that essentially what it is?
Well, no, they believe that it was excavated because there's like markings that have been seen in like North America, South America, like Australia, like all over the world and Europe that are very similar, like scratch marks on the walls. And it's like someone would get rocks and do it. And
have they dated this yet? Like carbon dated this?
I don't believe so. But their work, I know their
I've never
work.
even heard of this.
The documentary just came out on Netflix. It's really interesting. They talked
That's
about
fascinating.
it. They talked about it last week. It's called Key Bones, and they talked about it last week on Forbidden Frontier. It was really interesting stuff.
Maybe we do a part 2 tomorrow, like Dog was saying.
Yeah, I think so.
I've had a crazy week. I have not been able to do any homework, so I kind of came into this unprepared.
Damn.
I'm so unprofessional.
I know, me too. You know, I've also had a crazy week.
Yeah. Hope
But-
all is well.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, so it looks as though they carved this stuff out on their own, and obviously some of it might have been there, but it looks like they carved it out.
I won't
right
go
there,
as. Sorry,
right
what?
there, so you crawl. You'll see that little small spot, like right here.
Yeah, like right there. Okay.
That's the only way through into this giant cavern.
Bruh.
So they had to like army crawl through there?
Yes,
What humans getting through that?
they're not because
Well, that's actually, that. So just to theorize for a second, that could be. So the thought process is that it became a hostile environment on Earth during the Younger Dryas. So you'd have basically nuclear fallout from natural causes, whether it be solar flares or through. It's debatable right now whether it was asteroid impacts or solar flares, but like pretty much the world was on fire for a brief amount of time, and then the destruction caused it. Like there would be soot, there would be fumes, so it would make sense if they could build this that they could cover up that hole once people were inside of it.
right.
That's at least my thought process on it.
And there would be a lot of toxic meltwater around.
Right, and who knows? Maybe even acid rain with radiation.
Yeah, and probably not. Food was definitely scarce.
Well,
And
and
people. All
go
right,
on.
sorry, my bad. My bad. No, I was getting on to something else, but you're right. Keep going.
Well, I was gonna suggest that, but you brought up food, so I started to think, Great Pilgrim. Is that a secret tunnel?
Secret tunnel.
Oh,
Secret tunnel.
I don't think it was. Oh, it was called that. Uh, I'm rewatching it right now.
Through the mountains.
So what I was going to suggest, though, was that if it was a hot, you kind of threw me off with the food thing, because then it's like, how did they collect? Did they collect food for? I mean, you think about how hard that would be to collect that much.
Or was
food.
this not one of their living spaces? Was this just where they disposed of the dead?
Well, then there's also that small. I mean, to be honest, they could have been cannibals.
That's true. But
eat
here's an
the
interesting
sick
thing.
and eat the dead. And how did they collect food? And was it a process of people sacrificing their lives to go collect things that they needed and then coming back in with them?
Probably.
Then those people die off, and then they burn them at the stake and eat them.
Well, I don't necessarily think that this structure has to be a living structure. It could be for one group, but interesting. They're called the Daimyo people, but
The daimyos.
yeah, that's what they are. But they're these short skeletons that were found down there, and this chute is 100 yards like from the entrance.
So by short, you're talking like what you said earlier. Like you're talking like
A hobbit.
hobbit size.
Yeah.
So
But the interesting thing is, they're like, when they're like, they found some of the bones down there, like buried with, or like dropped in with, like tools.
Do they know when you watch this documentary? Do they talk about dates at all?
I think I remember them mentioning that. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, though. To be fair.
So they don't know how old this place is in any way.
I think they might have talked about it, but crap. I feel like Gary probably brought it up.
Was this the episode, the last episode that he did?
I think so. But I think a really interesting thing about this is if this isn't necessarily a place that they could live, there could be others like this around. This might be storage.
Well, there are
bodies down there, or they did live down here. But considering they're small, maybe they were a race of humans that just simply lived underground.
I think that we have more to discover
Absolutely.
as a culture, but that is a loophole in the Younger Dryas theory that Graham brings up, that we all basically dug holes in the ground to live in for who knows how long.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to think that you wouldn't really be able to survive too long in a cave. And then you have to think about, well, if it was nuclear fallout, that has to last at least a century or more.
And you
Agreed.
also need to like actually know like how to live down there and know beforehand.
Well, we are very
Or to
adaptable.
make it.
We're very adaptable.
that's true.
So
Yeah, but these aren't human. They're a completely different species.
oh, you forgot to mention that part.
Yeah. This specific
So it's not pygmy human.
No, it would look like a human in a way, but it's not. Maybe that's where they got the legend of dwarves from. They're just not around anymore.
Well, no, because there are pygmy people in you've heard of the pygmy that are still
Yeah,
alive
of course.
today in the Congo.
Yeah. I'm talking about this specific race that lives underground, though.
Well, if we don't even know what date they're from, I feel like we can't throw out that they're not.
I feel like I definitely
Human.
remember, like, Gary and them mentioning a date. I should have watched more of the thing.
Actually, you could be right. I've heard of a different species. It's not a different species. They're still human, but they're like a subdivision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like,
and we probably
there's one's from an island I know of, and people call them like the island hobbits or something like that.
Well, if they survive, I know like the shortest human like mummy we found is like 3 feet, fully
Yeah.
grown.
Yeah, I do remember that.
There's a museum in our city that actually has that person, like entombed in a coffin. They have like the smallest person next to like the tallest ever recorded person.
Natural History Museum.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's a really, really dope museum.
I might watch this. I may watch this soon.
Yeah, I don't think it's that long either.
I'm gonna check it out too because I didn't know anything about this. So
yeah, that's why you're on here.
Last week.
You said it's called the Cave of Bones?
Yes.
Okay.
And here, let me zoom out. If it lets me. Boop.
Oh wow, look at that hand comparison. I don't know if that was from the same thing.
It's right here. It's on Netflix, Cave of Bones.
Hmm.
It says
I'm gonna look
already
that up.
watched, but I haven't watched the whole thing yet. Oh no, it wants me to check it off. I'm stupid.
Pilgrim actually kind of has a point. He asks if they are mole.
That's not a point. That dude's trolling.
I mean, it's a fair question.
That's not it. That's well, I'm saying
That
like
dude's completely
race-
trolling.
that
You need to
race-
get used to Pilgrim.
Yeah, dude. I'm just saying if that race was around for let's say
A couple thousand years.
a long
yeah.
time after that,
Yeah.
when like stories were starting to be passed down from different people, if that race survived and they're just not around anymore, that could be where you get the idea of dwarves from, but they're just not around anymore. But who knows?
Well, to kind of bring it back to the Younger Dryas, there were that one. I mean, that easily, without a time, it's hard to say. For all we know, that could have been 6,000 years ago, right? But the Younger Dryas, they're pointing toward. You brought up earlier this week about Clovis people. And they are starting to find evidence that, or have found evidence that they were hunting mammoths. So they found Clovis points and arrows and spearheads embedded in the bones of mammoths. And for the longest time, we were taught that humans didn't live alongside mammoths, right?
But they definitely did. I always thought that they did.
I think they did too.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much proven now. I mean, I don't know how you could deny it at this point.
Did you guys ever watch that movie 10,000 BC?
Like a really long time ago, yeah.
I don't remember it if I did.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but everyone, it was like, even myself, I was like, oh, there's no way. This is all fantasy.
Yeah, there's no talking in it at all. I remember that. That's one thing I remember.
No, there's some talking from what I remember.
Right? I don't think he's wrong.
No, that's
It had to have been like
40 million years ago.
Yeah, not 65 million years ago.
Wasn't it? Yeah, wasn't it 40 to 100 million years? Maybe getting my time wrong. I don't think that's possible.
No, that's impossible.
What about cavemen?
Cavemen were around much later.
Yeah, much later. You have to remember. Okay, well, that's also. So people like to call Graham Hancock and Carl Randallson. They like to call them conspiracy theorists, or
Geeks.
well, but also there's a word for it for people that believe in comet strikes. We're literally at the age of 5 taught that the dinosaurs were destroyed from comet impacts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it so crazy to believe that another comet impact can't happen again.
Exactly.
And
Are they saying that it can't?
Yeah, it's highly quote unquote debunked.
Controversial for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why at all. And on that podcast, he brings up literally article after article about different comets that we find, and there's a blind spot behind the sun where we can't even track where they're from. And for me, being skeptical, we've only been to the moon. How the fuck do we not know? Like, how the fuck do we know 100% that there isn't an asteroid belt out there that we lie right in the middle of?
Right.
We've only been studying space for what, since the 60s?
Yep.
So we've only seen a fraction of what's like even out there anyway. Like, it's like Comet Pizza happened and reptilians eat children there.
What? Ray.
What?
Special Ray.
He's very special.
Yeah. Got a good profile picture for it.
His profile picture is hilarious.
Yeah, dude. I remember when he first popped up with that. I think it was in X's chat or EVN or something. He's great.
So, do you guys think that the most likely scenario for like the end of the world is that we get like another type of comet that like took out the like dinosaurs and stuff then? Or
likely? No. Do I believe it's possible?
We'll do it to ourselves first.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Hopefully not in our lifetime.
But the scary thing is, like, you know, we're with Wright, we're worried about nuclear war currently. One of these asteroids that Randall Carlson was bringing up was the size of the Statue of Liberty.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
moving at speeds I don't remember, but too high to comprehend.
Yeah.
And another one of them that he brought up, they estimated it to be about the size of Texas.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would wipe out.
That's the one I remember.
That would wipe out the Earth.
Sorry, not the size of Texas. It could cause an impact the size of Texas, which would have worldwide effects.
Yeah.
On everyone. We're talking nuclear, weather, like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So these things should be just as worrisome as a nuclear bomb, except it's not a country throwing it at us. It's space. You know, like, it's unpredictable.
And it's also not just one country getting hit or other ones. It's the whole planet getting hit at once.
Yeah, maybe really
the possibility of EMPs and solar storms.
It's a fair point.
How far did the rocket go, though?
I forget.
Yeah, I don't remember.
He sent it, like, I think right past the. I'm so bad at space. I think he got out of the
atmosphere.
Yeah, and then sent it back down, and
that
was the biggest feat, is that he sent it back down and was able to land it on a moving ship.
Yeah.
But fuck Elon. Elon's a piece of shit. Trying to bait you into this, Roman.
I don't want to get political, bro. I'm trying to just vibe.
Nah, I hear you. I'm just being a dick.
Is Elon political, though?
Kind of.
This isn't a political stream. This is a tinfoil hat stream.
Yeah. Well,
but I still don't think he is.
I kind of have a tinfoil hat, but it's a gray hood, so.
And I don't.
Nah, but so, like, if there was an asteroid, a dangerous one, coming, couldn't we just, like, shoot it down or something? Or, like...
And have it do the same thing that happened to Younger Dryas, where it blows up and we get multiple impacts?
Well, no, but, like, I'm saying, if it's, like, a small-ass rock...
We'd have to destroy that shit, like...
Dude, a small rock can make a huge impact.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah, true. It's a good point.
I don't know enough to speak on how big that impact would be, but
Well, just a couple months ago, there was, I think it was in New Jersey, a meteorite came through a woman's house.
Yeah.
It went through the the second floor into the first floor. So the roof, the attic, second floor into the first floor.
Damn. Yeah.
And like shattered the floor in there.
That's
the whole floor.
yeah.
No, like there was like a big like circular like break in like the hardwood.
That's wild.
I think the hardwood finally stopped it, but yeah, she went through 3 floors.
And that was just like a mini
It was
rock.
like this big.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's not a little rock. I mean, dude, a meteor this size,
Kill you.
the meteor with a meteor with the radius of an average human, right? So 6 foot tall, 6 feet wide,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
would probably level a house,
Absolutely.
right?
And cause an impact.
Especially if it goes through diagonally.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
It would level a house and blow it away at the same time.
So
Yeah, I mean, going that fast, we're talking what, thousands of miles per hour?
Yeah, and we're also
Probably
talking,
more.
we're also talking definite impact crater though.
So
We've seen small impact craters before,
What do you mean by impact crater?
like when it hits.
Oh, okay. Like a crater. Yeah.
From the impact, the one that's
That probably would level that's what's gonna level the house.
that might
not
level the house
impact.
next door and the house on the other side too. Like it might be like a
That's terrifying. That's terrifying.
So-
Sorry, go on, Roman.
So I was gonna say, I do think there is a phenomenon that could possibly be more terrifying. It's a whole lot less likely, but still something to think about. What if we got something into like a black hole? That shit would be scary.
I don't think we'd have a second.
A black hole? What do you mean?
Dude, they're fucking with them. Like they're messing with black holes over there in was it Sweden or something?
How are they messing with them? What are they doing?
Like they're trying to create them in a lab. I'm like, well, what if you mess up?
They're trying to create antimatter or something?
Basically.
Isn't that not what the consensus is?
Well, they said
What a black hole is? I think Einstein's theory was that
I think
it's
they
the
talked
opposite of
about
matter.
I think they talked about it on a Forbidden Frontier a while ago, and they were saying like, well, they're messing with trying to actually like synthesize a actual black hole.
I don't know why you would want to do that.
Exactly, because what if to learn from it? Yeah, but bro, what if
it gets big?
What if you mess up?
Right.
So it might be, yeah. I think Switzerland, the Swedes.
Switzerland, yeah.
No, but like I'm saying,
Yeah.
what if like a black hole comes into like our like solar system and starts to suck everything up?
It wouldn't come in. They don't move.
Oh.
They're more like an absence of matter. Like,
Have you thought about the dog that we sent into a black hole? Was it a dog or a monkey?
it might have been a monkey.
We sent a monkey into a black hole.
I'm pretty sure.
Why would we
Imagine
do
a
that?
monkey going through a black hole and just entering a different dimension.
I don't think it's a dimension. I think it's a void.
I think we don't know enough.
Yeah, I think we have no idea.
I think we have no idea.
We know wormholes are real though. We've seen that. We've like actually seen things.
Wormholes? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we've actually like been studying things that disappear and then reappear like in a different location.
Yeah, that's nuts. Crazy thought process is like, what if a wormhole is a construct and not a natural
Phenomenon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be
Like
down with that.
what's the ranking of civilizations? The types, right? There's like
Oh yeah. It's we're not even like a type 1.
yeah, and like they've already ranked like up to type 4 or something.
Yeah, type 4 is the highest one, I believe, and that's where you just like are transcended from even like corporeal form.
Oh,
yeah,
dang.
that's nuts.
And
Kinda
like
went up.
you literally are just transcended completely, and almost like everybody is like one, or like there's multiple of everybody that's all thinking the same, and they're all just like, it's weird. It's really mind blowing to think about.
Yeah, that's true, Ronnie. I might have gotten that from a movie.
I know we sent a monkey to space, and I know we sent a dog to space, but I don't think we sent anything to a black hole. But
let me look that up so I don't sound like a complete retard or idiot.
Void that we've spied.
You can't say that on this platform, Daimyo.
I know. That was bad. I'm too used to saying it.
He said the R word.
Oh, yeah. Whatever.
I mean,
YouTube's not checking it out anyway.
Yeah, this is too under the radar. But I do have AOC on the title, so maybe.
Do you really?
You had like 12 people here at one point.
No, I don't.
I said you had 12.
We got 8 right now. That's a good number.
Who are the 8 people watching this? So technically 6 people.
Yeah, I guess. Because I think Roman has it pulled up on his phone too.
Yeah, I'm just trying to monitor chat.
What?
Special Ray. I was in a black hole once. It was
Blacking out doesn't count.
It was pretty nice, and she was very, very, very giving.
I feel like Ronnie's mind is a black hole.
Yeah.
Things go in and they don't ever come back out.
They come back out as YouTube videos.
Right, yeah. That's how he lets all of his anger out. It's just like through like making fun of other people.
I don't know. I don't think Ronnie's an angry human.
Anyone who is the age of 17 has felt like some sort of anger.
I'm pretty sure every human has felt some sort of anger.
Yeah.
Hey, this isn't Rolo Romecast. Let's not diverge.
Exactly.
Sorry, Daimyo.
My fault.
Sorry, Daimyo.
All right, Rolo, what do you got for the stream tonight? Because I did not do my homework.
Well, I did my homework on like some of the other stuff, like the Egypt stuff, and I watched a lot on the cave people. I'm trying to remember how old, because I know that's a thing.
Oh, don't worry about that. We can move on. Did you look up anything for Clovis people?
No, I can though. I could pull up something.
Yeah, let's just start pulling random stuff up.
Yeah, because that's fine.
Because I'm gonna be totally honest, I had a horrible week, and I just have not had time. You know who Dr. Robert Malone is?
No, I don't.
I've heard that name.
He was the guy who made the mRNA vaccine.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was very much against the mandatory use of it. I went and listened to his talk at the Liberty Forum of Silicon Valley. It's a pretty interesting talk.
There's a lot of random stuff up here, but that sounds interesting. I don't know which one I want to go to.
What is the Clovis culture?
I'll tell you.
Ooh.
The Clovis people are direct ancestors of roughly
80% of all living
Native American populations.
Ah. Okay.
They're descended from ancestors who entered in later waves of migration. But here's the interesting thing. These people were the ones that would have been around during the time of the dire wolves and the the mammoths and all the megafauna. And they would have had to survive during all that time, which I think is wild. Because I know we've mentioned megafauna and stuff before, but cave bears, bro, the short-faced bear.
Dude, imagine having to go up against a 12-foot tall bear that can probably run faster than 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, I think they said their top speed would have been like faster than a cheetah or something.
Which they run at 60, which would make sense for their size.
Yep. Screw that, dude. That thing could probably go from 0 to 70 real quick. And you have to fight that like a daily basis.
$1 million? Do you fight
a short-faced bear? No, I die. Yeah. And whoever bet on the bear wins.
Okay, so megafauna are just prehistoric large animals, right?
Yes, prehistoric large animals. So the dire wolf, which would be like the size of a modern day horse today, which I think is badass.
God damn.
Imagine like a pack of wolves, but they're all like.
Okay, I'm gonna read the
so
definition real quick.
So,
imagine riding a dire wolf into battle, bro. That'd be sick.
So why did animals get smaller?
Well, they got killed off. Most megafauna got killed off by the Younger Dryas theories.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. During that massive flood and stuff like that, and during what could have been quite literally like impacts, fire in the sky, all this other shit across the planet. Like the planet was just going basically like into apocalypse mode.
This flood that you guys are referring to, are you talking about the Noah's Ark flood?
That is one of the arguments that every religion and culture has a story about
a massive flood
and destruction.
Yeah,
it's either and or. So they either the world's either on fire, and then there is a flood, or vice versa, or just one of the two. But most cultures and religions have that. So the definition for megafauna, or they say megafauna are large animals. The most common thresholds to be a megafauna are weighing over 46 kilograms or weighing over a ton. The first of these include many species not popularly thought as overly large, but being the only few large animals left in a given range or area, such as white-tailed deer. Oh, so there still are megafauna.
Well,
no, I think megafauna are a classification of animals, not necessarily prehistoric. I think an elephant is megafauna.
Well, I guess technically it would be, but many people say that like it was like the mammoth, dire wolf, saber-toothed cat, American lion, all that stuff. They're all considered megafauna. The ground sloth, because they're all giant. They're all much bigger than what.
Well, but this is so everything I'm looking at right now is specifically saying the largest of the animals in a living area. So elephants, giraffes, hippopotamus, rhinoceros, and large bovines, which I don't know what that is.
Bovine's like a pig, I think.
Okay, that would make sense.
Or no, bovine's a cow.
Oh, okay. So probably the buffalo family.
Yeah, likely.
The water buffalo, the yak.
The water buffalo and the yak. But yeah, so I don't think that humans killed all of these things off.
No, which is that's
the consensus though, which is so stupid.
The consensus by who though?
Academia in general.
Historians, archaeologists, paleontologists.
Yeah.
The mainstream ones.
Yeah. And they want to believe that, okay, well, we've already figured it out. That's what happened, because they don't want everything that they've been studying and doing themselves all the time.
Forgot to bring that up.
Incorrect. Basically, they don't want to be proven wrong.
Now the oxygen isn't as...
That's a very good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
That too, because that's what happened with the giant insects.
Yeah, but okay, that makes sense. So let's jump back in time though to the Ice Age. Right after the Ice Age, you still had extremely large animals and humans running around. Yep. Whether you agree that they were civilized or not, there were humans.
Large human as in like giants and stuff.
No, large animals.
Maybe there is. That's definitely going to be an episode at one point.
Oh yeah, we're definitely. Didn't somebody ask us to talk about the giants?
I did.
Oh yeah, we're definitely.
I wanted to talk about giants at one point.
I want to talk about giants. Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of legends in like roof and stuff.
Yeah, like the Gigantopithecus.
Yep.
Which is believed to be the Yeti.
Sasquatch.
But going back to what I was saying, it wouldn't be absurd to live alongside a saber-toothed tiger.
Oh no,
they're big, but they're not like 20-foot tall big. Okay,
Right.
a mammoth probably was.
Ground sloth is like 16 feet or something like that, I want to say. What
Yeah,
about?
we probably hunted those and ate those too.
Oh, yeah. But ground sloths were like extremely dangerous, apparently.
So then, y'all say that it wasn't the humans that killed all of these animals. It was just
Probably the flood that they talk about.
Yeah, I mean,
It was
humans.
Okay.
Humans
And-
definitely had something to do with it, but
And us being in the Catholic background or growing it, right? All three of us grew up Catholic.
yeah,
We're used to listening to Noah's Ark, and that as a story, if the world was in destruction and these giant tidal waves were coming in inland, it's not a crazy theory to gather as many breeding animals as possible and bringing them on a giant boat. It's not that crazy
especially
of a story.
if you're connected with other people
Yep.
that know, you all know to do this. Because that story didn't come from North America. That story came from the Middle East.
Well, if we buy into what the Bible said, Noah was told what animals to bring onto the ark with him, and then which ones to not bring on. So, if what is said is true, it was like cows, lions, pigs, like your basic animals.
There would also be other, there's other cultures that also have the basically the exact same story.
Yeah.
And it could be metaphorical, and we're just thinking it's too literal. But
I think it's metaphorical more than anything.
Yeah, but the flood is real.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
There's too much evidence of it all across the planet. It definitely happened, especially Atlantis and shit. Don't get me started on that again.
This guy's an idiot.
Get him out of here.
Boo.
Yeah, can one of my mods time out Ronnie? He is one of my mods.
He is one.
Nah, but so I think we're all in agreement. The flood, it happened. It's just that you don't think that maybe the animals that Noah took onto the ark it's kind of up for interpretation. Is that what you're saying?
I think the whole Bible's up for interpretation.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
Look, so the Bible was apparently written, word of mouth, written down and passed down, and dates back to 2,000 years. Am I mistaken?
Nope.
Yeah. So how do we know that there wasn't a civilization dating back 10,000 years more than that?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's where the Bible, or that's where the story of the destruction and the olive branch and all that good stuff came from.
I mean, I know I've talked about it before, but again, there's that same thing with the Library of Alexandria. What if they actually had a lot of this written down in there? They had a lot of history known in there. And since it got burnt to the ground, we've lost all that. What if they knew about the Younger Dryas and stuff and had that in there, in the history books in the Library of Alexandria? But when it was destroyed, most of that was destroyed.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and say that it's 100% fact that there were civilizations around 10,000 BC, but Caleb wants to join us.
Ooh.
But so Göbekli Tepe, they found a bead that had a precise hole in the center of it for a necklace, and they carbon dated it to 6,000 years, which means you have to do a plus or minus of about 2,000 to 4,000 years on top, because carbon dating isn't very accurate.
Right. Damn.
But regardless, so that either puts the number at 2,000 years, which is the time of Jesus, or it puts it at 10,000 years. Right. So it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like that's not something that.
I mean, it is crazy. It's not kind of crazy. It is crazy.
That's not something that I think about much, but it's something that is worth like thinking about.
And think about how many other like locations exist, like around just.
Yeah, there's those caverns in Turkey, I think, and also China that are built vertically, but they're built suspended.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
crazy.
And why would you live indoors if the environment outside wasn't destroyed?
Right. For lack of a better word, or just completely messed up. But yeah, it's like some super interesting stuff. Excuse me. It just boggles my mind too, thinking about it, and I don't know why. I mean, I'm glad there's a lot more people talking about it like us right now.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
You know, I gotta say, I'm really disappointed in all of you.
Why?
I'm hurt. You know, you're not over there watching X-Wing. You're over here doing your own thing.
I already planned this. That's why X-Wing should tell us when he's streaming and not just.
Well, you know when he's streaming, Wednesday or Friday nights.
He hasn't streamed in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then this week, yesterday he said.
No, he is not. Stop pretending like he's scheduled. He'll go on a Monday. He'll go on a Thursday.
Also,
he never goes on Wednesday.
Very disappointed in Rolos works for both of them. The Rolo over there, because they decided to quit early. So disappointed. But this is the reason why you make sure you have someone that knows the history of the Bible when you start talking about the Bible. So what you have to remember is that the Bible consists of 2 texts. It consists of the New Testament and the Old Testament. The Old Testament can depending on which books you're looking at, dates much further than about 90 AD. 90 AD is the date that John wrote the Gospel of John. A couple years prior to that, he would have written his other letters, which is most of the New Testament. The other Gospels were written probably between 45 and 60 AD, which is why the first 3 Gospels are very similar, and John's is very different because John was already writing to a different group of people, and he had already read Matthew, Mark, and Luke's Gospels, which is why his are different. He doesn't have to tell the same story because they already told it. And the Torah, the oldest Torah that we currently are in possession of, that, you know, it's a full-on length, you know, from A to Z thing, dates to the 2nd or 3rd century BC. So that's 300 years before Christ. That's 150 years before Rome conquers.
But is that right around the 2000 mark, or am I
no, that's that's like 2,400 years ago. 23 to 2,400. And that 300 years.
Yeah. So, but it's still
it doesn't
right around
sound like a lot, but back then that is a lot of time.
Right, but
the other thing you have to remember is, you know, we've got documents like what's the what was Homer's thing? The Odyssey and the Iliad, right?
Yes, the Iliad and the Odyssey.
So we have like 7 surviving copies of the Iliad, and which is in many ways the Greek Bible.
Yeah.
And we measure that as probably as close to historical truth as we have of any document for an ancient civilization. Because that was ancient Greece.
You said there's 7 copies left?
Yeah, there's like 7 copies that we still have.
Version over there? Yeah.
We have a single. I may be wrong about this one. We have a single page of Plato's
Which dates back to when? The farthest time?
Yeah. I've read.
No,
I've
I'm
read-
asking a question. What's the latest date?
The latest what?
Date.
200 AD, I think.
So
Okay.
how do you? The Ice Age ended what 11,000 years ago, roughly, and that's believed to be when the mammoths were walking around.
Well, so you got to remember, civilization is the combination of reading, writing, tools, and walls, I believe. So the theory or the explanation being that civilization started when we stopped moving everywhere, started building walls, and started writing. And that's 4,000 BC, I believe.
Well, that kind of goes in line with what I was talking about with Göbekli Tepe, because they clearly had tools. You can't hand drill a less than an inch bead with a hole perfectly centered in the middle of that bead without a tool. You can't hand drill that, especially out of limestone.
Which place are you talking about?
Göbekli Tepe. It was recently found in Turkey, and they've dated.
The Turkey thing.
Yeah, they've dated that back to 6,000 years, carbon dated. So you can give or take, 1,000 years. But regardless, that doesn't really align.
This might just be something that I read recently, but for all I know, it's some BS meme. But I could have sworn that like a year or two ago, the whole like archaeological community just decided they had to restart everything because they found out the carbon dating is actually like bullshit.
Well, that's part of the argument.
It's barely
I'm
accurate.
trying to make it's barely accurate the way they've been dating things.
Did you say barely or fairly?
Barely.
With a B.
With a B. You have to give or take about 2,000 years, roughly. So, but that's give or take. It can go both ways. But regardless, that means we really don't know as much as we were thinking we knew. The Sphinx, there's some real discrepancies that you can't ignore. So
we know the Sphinx is actually much older than
much older.
All the pyramids or most of them?
All of them for the most part.
Is it all of them? Okay.
I believe.
Yeah.
Or all everything above ground. I think there's that doesn't answer 11.
No, I think we were talking. I think he was that was a question. That was when I was talking about how old the mammoths were, or the Ice Age. And I only brought that up, but it was kind of a weak argument on my part because I was going to say we know that we were hunting mammoths, not we, but the Clovis people. But that doesn't necessarily mean they were an advanced civilization. That just means that we were smart enough to make tools and hunt them.
Oh, he literally did open pop-ins. We weren't available, and so he ended the stream.
Are you serious?
Really?
Oh, I feel so bad.
Oh,
I saw a dog say that. I was gonna go over there.
I feel so bad.
I feel bad
so
too,
funny.
I had no idea. Damn. Yeah, I didn't know. Like Roman told me earlier, and I was like,
"Well, this is what happens when you ignore your community for 2 weeks." I'm joking.
Damn, that kind of.
Are you though?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Probably.
I was about to cancel this. I was like, I want to make X-Wing stream.
Yeah. Damn.
Well, I'm not going to go for too much longer, to be honest, either.
Yeah.
Should we do a chill stream tomorrow? Caleb, are you free?
Yeah, we should.
I don't know. What's it? Chill stream is what?
A John Graber stream.
Okay, what time?
I don't know what time works for you guys.
Same time works for me. If you want to do 7:45 Eastern for me, I'm cool with that.
7 works best for me.
Okay.
I get off at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
okay. So
I'd have
7:30.
Be cool.
7:30 would work for me if I set it up early.
Okay. And then people can pop in as
Yeah, pop in and out. We'll just be chilling.
All right, but
Again, though, not I don't want it to be a full.
Yeah, I mean,
stream.
Oh no,
I mean,
Just
no.
hang
like,
out.
you know, well, I meant like, and Rolo can come in when he's when he gets off work or whatever. He's right. He's got the railing to do at 7.
Shut up. I'll be there.
At the railing, I know.
Yeah, you goober.
Oh my god, goober! What?
Yeah.
You motherfucker. Sorry.
Holy crap! He hasn't gone live since 7/27, and that was at EBN.
Yeah, that's the last time I saw him because he got to do a lot of. I think he said he was taking a week off because he was working a lot or something, and he had to get ready for the trip, and then he was gone for 2 weeks.
Dang, 7/27. Yeah, that's almost 3 weeks. It's a day away from 3 weeks.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the last announcement. Oh wait, no, might be on the YouTube content. Yeah, X-Wing hasn't had a late night or actual stream since July 15th. Wow. That Ronnie's right. We need to make X-Wing streams great again.
Oh, they'll be back. I just felt bad that
he was supposed to be here. Well, okay, so I was talking to him while I was waiting on Roman to get his head out of his ass this afternoon. I was talking to Dog about something.
Oh yeah, but they started building a crane at 5:30.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Right.
He told us.
So,
well, he joined in the chat right before we started. He was in the back room with us.
All right, so y'all being you
You saying all your vowels or something?
Ancient civilization people. Talk about us forgetting how to build things. Like it's proof that
I don't think anything's proof.
Okay. Like it helps explain that there might be an ancient civilization. But my question is why? Because we, until like 2 years ago, we'd forgotten how to make Roman concrete. We still don't really understand how they built the Parthenon. Not Parthenon.
That kind of like Pantheon. Goes on.
We still don't understand how they built the pyramids, to be honest.
Well, we have theories, and we sit there and know, okay, this is a way they could have done it. Right. We have zero idea how they built the Pantheon in Rome.
Are there any theories that are like concretely proven though, or is
that's why they're all
theories? So this, this is the thing. How do you wait? So one of the theories.
X-Wing just said there's going to be a late night tonight as well. Me drunk and egg roll.
Oh, word.
Well, I won't be there. I gotta go to bed in about half an hour.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
That's fine. So
I'll be able to
yes and no, because it really depends on what you believe. Sure, there's an explanation of building the pyramids by literally using the Israelite slave labor. Maybe not all 7 pyramids, 6.
There's 140 something pyramids.
All right, of the ones that you see in the photographs.
Still not believable, in my opinion.
Well, no. So this is the thing.
Those blocks would be big enough for like 7 people lined up, and then what are you gonna have? Like 7 people behind them, and 7 people behind them.
No, it'd be a pulley system with ropes.
Yeah, it would be a pulley system. It would be logs. It would be all that kind of stuff.
You'd still have to push though.
So if
to some extent
you can use.
Yes, exactly.
You can use that method and say that's how they build them. Or you can go all the way to the other side and say, well, giant aliens came down and grabbed each thing.
But that's not the point. The whole title of this stream is more satire than anything.
I'm not necessarily saying y'all are sitting there.
No, I get you. I was just opening my point with that. Like it's more of a questioning. Like how do you cut a straight stone that weighs 100 tons and lift it up to the top of a pyramid? That's what I want to know. How did they do that? What technology did they have that we're not seeing?
The explanations that I've seen just involve giant ass ramps. Okay. You have a gradual ramp system that goes around.
100 tons.
But the cutting is perfect.
But not only the cutting, perfect. At an angle, this thing's sitting in the burial room at pretty much.
Well, I mean, dude, in 700 BC, I'm kind of guessing on the year. We had Greek astronomers and mathematicians figuring out the building blocks of the planet just by looking. And 700, I think it actually might be much further. Just by looking down and noticing that the sun is setting a different, is casting a different shadow today than it did yesterday.
And I want to bring, this isn't an argument. I want to just make the point.
I'm probably being a little too argumentative. I apologize.
No, I mean, this is important. No, this is important that like the debate's the whole point of this, to be honest. But what I was saying is that the Library of Alexandria it got burned down. So
right, yeah.
We lost how much information. It could be
a lot of info we lost.
It could be a very simple explanation on how they did these things, and they're using different mathematics or different way. Like, it might not have been a pulley system. It could have been a whole other system that we're not comprehending because we don't have the proper means.
And it's funny because that's, Egypt is part of the Muslim world. And it was the Muslims and that region, because there would have been Jews, Christians. I was going to say Buddhists, but I've never really heard of a story of a Chinese guy going over to Egypt. But I mean, maybe Daimyo's ancestor.
No. Okay. I'll say it after. I'll say that.
The Mongols made it up for.
Yeah. Okay. Or the Mongol. It could any of those people in that area. That they're the ones that kept science alive during the so-called European Dark Ages. So a lot of people sit there and say that, the church did this during the Dark Ages, which caused science not to propel. But something that I actually really enjoy is the fact that that whole like really evil and anti, I'll say Catholic, because that was the prevailing denomination at the time. That whole theory is really anti-grav. That whole theory is really starting to fall apart because there's really one big anti-science thing done during that period, and it's when the Pope excommunicated Galileo. And the Pope excommunicated Galileo not because he proved that the Earth wasn't at the center of the universe or the center of the solar system, but it was because of things he said about the Pope. So it wasn't an anti-science thing. It was an anti-dick thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's well known that the church back then was very much just it was control. It was the power. Mm-hmm. So yeah. you speak against it. And look, we're not out here killing people that are being skeptical, but there's an ostracization that happens against folks like Graham Hancock, Randall Carlson, that we keep bringing up, where they're going against the consensus in the mainstream and they get called just horrible things, racist, all this other stuff.
They tried to say that Graham's newest documentary.
Well, I can't speak to that.
I would say
racist.
I would say, Caleb, if you are actually interested why people think about the stuff that we're talking about here, I would say watch a few of the podcasts, listen to what they have to say, or just watch the show that he just put out, because it's not he's done his homework. We're sitting here as spectators and just relaying the information that we're given. He's spent, I think, 12, 15 years researching this stuff, and he doesn't come with he has a overall hypothesis, but he backs it up with facts and with examples of why he believes these things. And that's all I would say to that. I do want to bring, though, back to Caleb, your point about Asia and whatnot, but they actually found an Egyptian-looking tomb and mummy in Japan.
Yes.
Which is a little...
Oh, wow.
And they also found Egyptian blood in people in South America as well.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's not surprising.
That's not surprising. I think they had
Just find
boats.
that
They could have
interesting.
easily built a bigger
They found
boat.
a black guy in Britain in dating back to like 10,000 years. Doesn't
You
mean
haven't seen Rings of Power? There
was a lot. There was a lot of black guys in that area.
Remember when they keep using that? They keep using this one example
This
of
one
a guy
dude.
with
Well,
African
look, there was.
DNA in Britain to justify all this stuff when it's like, you know,
Yeah,
probably a slave from some Roman conquest.
exactly.
Well, that's what I hated so much about the new.
Or it could have been a mutation in some dude.
The new Viking series on Netflix.
Uh-huh.
It's
Valhalla.
yeah. Like they took the Earl Hakon. I'm probably butchering how you're supposed to say it, but it was a dude. First of all, it was a straight up Norse blood dude, so white, tall, all that other stuff, and made him a black woman.
I mean, there's a word
as an earl
It's
of one of the biggest places, Kattegat, of that area, was biggest trading station. Like
right.
What were you gonna say, Caleb?
Oh yeah, there's a word that would describe what most Vikings and Dutch look like, but I think it's a word that would get your channel taken down. It starts with an A, and that's all I'll say.
You know, it's
the German one. Well, the one that, but it shouldn't get the channel taken down. It probably will, or get the channel in trouble.
Well, the even great thing is, hey, Rollo, when you go to the doctor,
yeah.
Do you check the box that says Caucasian?
Yes.
Sometimes. Why?
I mean,
you're not Caucasian.
I don't really get that box often. I only get that box when it's like for a job or something.
I'm also not Caucasian.
Yeah, and neither is anybody really.
No. There are people. There are 1.3 billion Caucasians. They live in India.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because the
I forgot
people
about
that live in India migrated down to the subcontinent from the area around the Caucasus Mountains, which is what Caucasian is supposed to be.
I have heard that and forgot it.
It's not that wasn't just some stupid ass thing they put in an NBC show. That's an actual thing. The Caucasus were an area of mountains like to the northwest of India, and they migrated down, filled up the subcontinent, and there we go. Roddy is one of those underground people. I love it.
Yeah, you know, it's so after I watched that, I had to just see where the actual history is, just to see if that's even plausible. And the Vikings were known to obviously capture slaves from around the world and bring them back. Yeah. And if your master ended up trusting you and liking you enough, he would just make you a free man.
Yep.
They never were rulers of large strongholds, you know? Like,
there's a reason Harold changed everything.
Huh?
There's a reason that Harold changed everything when he told all of the lords in Denmark, I'm going to be king.
Oh, yeah. King Harold.
Yep.
Yeah, and they got a lot of that stuff wrong in the show. Still good.
Yeah, this thing from Ronnie, I heard a theory that Egyptians had contact with South American civilizations.
That's a theory. That's not...
well, so this is the problem with that. So I'm going to pull up a map of the world here.
Maps can be. Oh, I'll let you speak.
I understand that Africa is a lot bigger than it looks like on this map.
That's not what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. This is just a map of the world here. Okay. So the problem with this, you can't see my mouse. I have to go to the other screen. Let me put it over here. So the problem with this is, can you see my mouse? You can't see my mouse.
There
it is.
I can see it.
Hang on, and I don't want to be in Russia. All right, so you got Egypt right here. Nile River flows down to Lake Victoria right here. So the problem with saying that Egypt would have had contact with South American civilizations is at the time of Egypt's basic height. Let's say the non-Greek Egypt. The New Kingdom, 1100 AD, I believe. They spread. Egypt owns all of this basically. In South America, the only city at the time was way down here in Chile, right there. And they did not have water travel. Like there is the archaeological record of that city shows that they were basically lucky to have fishing boats because for some reason they hadn't figured out more wood, bigger structure. Maybe we go farther. They hadn't figured that out. Egypt would not have had a navy. Neither did the Assyrians, the one that starts with P. In fact, the only people that had a navy that could sail around the world at the time were the Chinese.
Yeah, okay, so I want to butt in here because it has been proven that there are South American bloodlines that share blood with the Polynesians. So it's not
that makes a little more sense. A couple Polynesians hop on a boat from China and sail. I mean, you got Polynesia right here.
Yeah, that does make more sense.
That does make sense. Plus, you also got to remember, okay, so how much of that bloodline is South American? Because
it's very, very old.
Yeah, so if it's 10,000 years old, okay, well, there's a bunch of things that basically explain the land bridge up here, and there's supposed to be some other sort of connection down here as well. I don't know where and to what side it is. I imagine y'all know that more than I do. But the land bridge is supposed to explain most of the population of Canada, America, and the rest of the west coast of the Americas. And a form of colonialism is supposed to explain that a bunch of the tribes of Eastern Americas.
Excuse me.
Because as at zero, Egypt would have definitely been able to sail around. Most of the world would have been able to sail around the world if they wanted to at about 0 AD.
So I wish I had the clip of it because I'm about to butcher this explanation, but there is some discrepancies with Antarctica during the map making of like the early Spaniards, I believe, were really like the ones who started mapping out on paper, like basically Europeans, essentially.
Yeah.
They started taking old maps that were handed down through culture, and when they started going throughout the world, they would add to those maps and change them as what they saw. Now,
the Spaniard that first circumnavigated the globe.
So let me share my screen real quick.
Right, Magellan was a Spaniard, right?
I believe so.
I think so, yes.
It sounds Spanish.
Sorry, I was trying to look up I've been trying to look up a map
Portuguese
from what 600 BC and 300 BC would be. I can't find the right one.
So if you notice on this map, and this was from like the 15th century. I mean, look how different everything is. Like look how much bigger Antarctica is. I believe over here is this the?
That's probably supposed to be Brazil.
Probably.
with the West Indies right there, and then the Americas.
We're obviously confused, right? Because this looks like the Hawaiian Islands. They're obviously not in between the two Americas. But it's my point I'm trying to make is that map making. Obviously, we have a very defined or definitive idea of the world nowadays, but the maps before that time, I mean, there were none, right?
Oh, is that why you said, well, maps can be...
They can be deceptive.
Oh.
When we're talking about the past.
Yeah, did you think I was getting ready to pull up an old map?
No.
Oh.
Get out of here, Caleb.
Well, no,
just because I have my tinfoil hat on doesn't mean
I was being serious. I thought you might have thought I was pulling up a old map.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I did. Mm-hmm. For a second, I did think you were going to bring up an old map.
Okay. Yeah, Magellan was Portuguese.
Yeah, but they were
Spanish
the same,
light.
Yeah, they were the same culture back then.
I mean, they say hello the same way. Hola.
Hola. Nowadays they say oi.
Oh, Bronny, that's a good. Apparently, Rolo is a map.
Hey! This isn't. We're not on John's stream, and we're not on a Rolo Rome cast. You guys are muted.
Yeah, I know. I'm keeping it on and off.
Why?
Because our one friend is sleeping and he might snore.
Yeah.
Because
you heard boyfriend, right?
Our one friend, because he's driving.
I heard boyfriend.
I heard boyfriend.
I heard boyfriend too.
Rodney, clip it.
We don't want.
I said.
Oh my God, I heard that. It sounds like a dog.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Why are you here then?
Because Roman's computer.
You know what? I was telling them earlier, I had a long week. I was not able to come prepared anyway, so
neither was I. So we're just keeping it short and just bullshitting, kind of.
I'll probably just shut this down. So, we are thinking of doing a stream tomorrow with Dog.
Yeah, I'm down for a chill stream tomorrow too, though. And X is going live tonight in a couple hours, so
yeah, I might cut it out so I can go grab dinner.
Yeah,
I have to go to bed because I have to get up at 5.
Well, thanks for engaging.
Yeah, that was really fun. You should come back for another one.
Yeah, well, I was sitting there watching X-Wing, and then I heard someone say something about the Bible only being like 2,000 years old, and I had to correct them.
That's fine. Still had a good conversation.
I appreciate that correction. Well, anyway, Daimyo, thanks for having us. I had a lot of fun. I love this stuff.
Thank you, Daimyo.
I could talk about it all night, but
we'll reconvene, and then maybe we should choose a topic that Caleb likes.
Yeah,
so that
both of us have had a long week.
So that we can actually have a full stream with the man.
We definitely slacked on our homework this week, so
I did, but it's okay. That's why I don't post this to Hangar Bay. Not yet. I need to get some practice under my belt.
Right.
All right, everyone. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having us. Thank you, chat. You guys rock. That was really fun.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Peace out, everybody.
Later.
See you.